So you're taking a look at the Bare mattress, but you see that they have hybrid and the original version. Which one should you get? It's exactly what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to run through the pros and cons of each mattress, the construction differences, the similarities, telling you who should get one over the other, so you're going to want to stay tuned. Let's get started by talking about what's similar between these two mattresses. Well, they come from the same company, so you're gonna have the same customer service, same policies, things like free shipping, returns, sleep night trial, things of that nature. In my opinion, they're about the same firmness, so I put both at about a 6.5 out of 10, 10 being the firmest. I think most would agree that they're generally in the same firmness range. I think they both sleep very cool, so if you're worried about sleeping hot, these both can be a very good option for you. They also have a sealant cover, so that's very nice if you're potentially an athlete or you just want to recover, get a cooler night of sleep. They both have a sealant cover. All right, we know about the similarities, but what are the differences? Number one big difference is just price. So it's gonna be $500 to $600 depending on the discounts of the day. More expensive for a queen for the hybrid than for the original mattress. Also materials differences, there are gonna be pretty big differences here. So with the hybrid, you have a quilted top over a memory foam-like, but slightly different layer, over a transition layer, over pocketed coils. With the original Bare, you're gonna have not a quilted top, you're gonna have graphite gel infused memory foam on top, then a transition layer, then a base layer of foam. So very different materials overall. Because of that, the feel is going to be quite different. With the original, you can have kind of a sinking in feel because it has memory foam on top, kind of that quicksandy memory foam sinking in feel, versus a fluffy top with coils underneath it. You definitely sleep more on top of the mattress with the Bare hybrid, so that's just something to know. All right, let's look under the hood of both mattresses and see what the construction differences are. Starting with the original, we have a sealant cover, then a graphite gel infused memory foam top layer, then a transition layer, then a base layer that's polyfoam that you're going to see in a lot of other all foam mattresses, bed-in-a-box mattresses. Switching to the hybrid now, we also have a sealant cover. It's quilted to give you a little bit more softness. Then it has a memory foam-like layer that's way more responsive and faster moving than your average kind of memory foam. It's not actually memory foam. Then you have a transition layer and then pocketed coils underneath that. So what do these differences really mean? Well, with the hybrid, it's going to be thicker overall. You're also going to have pocketed coils versus foam that you have in the original mattress, the support layer. So it's going to be more supportive overall. So if you're a heavier sleeper, you have higher support needs, that's just something to note with the hybrid. You may want to go with that. Also, the feel is going to be quite different. With the hybrid, even though it's about the same firmness, the feel is going to be different. You're going to feel like you sleep more on top of the mattress. It has a nice fluffy top because of the quilted cover. Then you can kind of feel the coils underneath that. It's a very different feel from the original where you're going to kind of sink into the mattress more. Just having that true memory foam feel on top, you're going to sink into it. It's going to be kind of slower to respond, a little bit faster to switch positions on the hybrid than it is on the original. So the feel is going to be quite different, and just the overall support is going to be different as well. You definitely get a lot more out of the hybrid, but it comes with a greater cost, so that's just kind of something to note. All right, now let's talk about differences in firmness and feel. As far as firmness is concerned, I actually put both mattresses at the same firmness at about a 6.5 out of 10. I think it might depend on your weight. If you're a bit heavier on the Bare, you have nice memory foam on top, but you may press through that and feel a little bit more firmness. If you're lighter, you may feel it's a little bit softer. So that's just kind of something to note. And again, the feel is going to be quite different. You're going to have more of a memory foam feel with the Bare. It's going to be harder to move around, switch positions, but you're going to sink into the mattress more, and some people like that, some people don't. With the hybrid, you're going to feel like you sleep more on top of the mattress. It's going to be easier to switch positions and kind of move around, more responsive in general, so the feel is quite different. Now I'm going to talk through how I feel in different sleeping positions on both mattresses. Starting on the original, on my back, very good match for me here, very supportive overall, conforms very well to the curves of my body, good match for me there. On the hybrid, very good match as well. I would actually say it's more supportive for me on my back, so I'd probably prefer slightly the hybrid on my back. Switching on to my side, on the Bare, the memory foam kind of kicks in, relieves pressure pretty well, so I would say good match for me there as well. On the hybrid, kind of same story. I would actually also probably prefer the hybrid on my side. For some reason with the quilted top, and that memory foam like layer underneath that just relieves pressure a little bit better for me personally. Switching on to my stomach, on the Bare, I feel like it's a little bit too soft, and also on the hybrid, it's probably a little bit too soft, so I think if you just sleep on your stomach, I'd probably look elsewhere other than these two mattresses. In Mattress Clarity, we love our pressure map test. It shows you exactly how well every mattress relieves pressure. Get down on my back, side, and stomach, and you see anywhere from blue to no pressure all the way up to red to high pressure. The thing that really matters here is the side sleeping results. If we throw up the results for both mattresses here, you'll see that it shows that the hybrid may relieve pressure a little bit better. That was kind of my experience as well. I felt like on my side, it felt just a little bit better. So that's something to note. It also kind of depends on your weight. You may see different results if you weigh a little bit different than I do, but that's just kind of something to note here.
Hey guys, Martin here to offer a different perspective. Joe's 5'9", 160, I'm 6'7", 230. I'm a larger person and want to give my experience with these two mattresses. So today we have the Bear and the Bear Hybrid. Now in terms of firmness, I said the Bear was a 7 or a 7.5 out of 10. The Bear Hybrid was a 7 out of 10. Now in terms of sleeping positions, over on the Bear here, on my back, really nice overall support, my hips sink in, not too far, really nice contouring from the top layers as well, really great for back sleeping. On my side, I'm kind of pressing pretty far into the mattress, feeling some serious firmness on my shoulders and my hips, so not the best for side sleeping. And on my stomach, my hips sinking too far, I'm getting out of alignment, not a good match for stomach sleeping. Now over on the Bear Hybrid on my back, really great overall support as well. Hips sink in the right amount with those top layers, even more support from the coils beneath that, so even for heavier people, a really nice match for back sleeping. On my side, I'm pressing in not too far, feeling some decent pressure relief from my shoulders and my hips. On my stomach though, not quite firm enough for me. I am bowing in at the hips there. So what does that mean? I think if you're a heavier back sleeper, both could work for you. If you're a much heavier back sleeper, I'd lean towards the Hybrid. If you're a heavier side sleeper, I'd lean towards the Bear Hybrid as well. Heavier stomach sleeper, I would look elsewhere.
If you sleep with a partner, there's two additional things you're going to want to consider when looking at a mattress. That's motion transfer and edge support. Motion transfer is basically, if your partner's moving around that side of the bed, is that motion to be isolated or transfer over to you and possibly wake you up at night? Edge support is basically, can you sit or sleep towards the edge of the bed without feeling like you're going to fall off? Now in this case, with edge support, I would give the advantage to the Hybrid. It seems to just do a better of a job at preventing that rolling off the bed feeling. And as far as motion transfer is concerned, I would give the advantage to the original. It has memory foam on top, just does a little bit better job of isolating motion overall. All right, so now the moment you've all been waiting for, who should get one over the other? All right, as far as who should get the original mattress, you are going to save a lot of money. You're going to save $500 to $600 depending on the discounts of the day by going with the Bear. So that's just kind of something to note. They are the same firmness range, a lot of the same qualities overall, so you can just save money by going with the original Bear. If you want to sink into your mattress more, maybe you like a memory foam feel, I would also consider the Bear. That's definitely the feel that you get more than the Hybrid. And if you're a lighter weight person and you don't have as many support needs, you may not need those pocketed coils that you get with the Hybrid and pay extra for that. As far as who should get the Hybrid, if you have more support needs, I would definitely go with the Hybrid. It's definitely going to be the more supportive mattress of the two. I think if you're heavier as well, in tandem with that, I would probably pick the Hybrid, just more supportive and probably more appropriate. It's thicker overall, more appropriate for heavier sleepers. Also, if you want some bounce, you want it to be easier to switch positions at night, or you want to sleep on top of the mattress, I would definitely go with the Hybrid in that case. All right, that's basically it. Hopefully I've given you a good overview of the similarities and differences, and hopefully the decision is pretty clear on which one you should get. If it's not for some reason, just leave a comment below. I do read and reply back to every single comment on YouTube. So just leave a comment below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you're just getting started on your mattress buying journey, definitely check out mattressclarity.com. If you want to see a full list of my top picks, simply Google Mattress Clarity Best Mattress. Once again, let me know if you have any questions.